So continued with the previous video where we got some error over here for the calling a function grow rectangle. So if you have not gone through the previous video before watching this video, I request you to go through the previous video where we have defined a function known as a grow rectangle for the class rectangle. This function is going to accept the three parameters, the first parameter being the object of the class rectangle, the second parameter being the two numeric values to change the value of the width and the height here. So what we have done is here is once we pass the object of a class rectangle, by accessing the attributes of this class we are going to add the news values passed here. So for which we are getting error here like height is not defined. Probably here is a mistake. Instead of the dot I have typed here as a comma, so let's change it. So let's change it. Then once again call the function. By calling a function you need to pass the three parameters. Okay, so now it's changing the values. That means whatever the previous value that you have added, it is adding the new values here. Okay, so let's continue with the next further function. So what you need to do here is you need to write a new function known as a move rectangle that takes a rectangle and two numbers named dx and dy. You should change the location of a rectangle by adding the dx to the x coordinate of the corner and adding dy to the y coordinate of the corner. So what is the definition or the meaning of this function is, so to the rectangle what has been created earlier, you need to write a function where it has to take this rectangle, the object of this rectangle class as a first parameter, and the two new values for the x and the y coordinates to change the value of this position, to change the value of the coordinate of x. That means you want to change the location of the rectangle to the new position by adding the new values of the x and the y coordinates. So let's see how it is being done here. So before that I just want to execute all these statements once again, at least from this here. So if you remember the box corner, the object of this box, rectangle box needs to be created as an object of the another class known as a point to set the values for the x and the y coordinates. So now we are going to write a definition to move the rectangle, that is to change the values of the x and the y coordinates. So this function will also accept the three parameters, the first parameter being the object of the class rectangle and the next two parameters being the values of the new values to be added here. So you need to remember which are the attributes that are used as for the x and the y coordinates here. So print similarly the new values here. So now call this function by passing the object which we have already created here. So if you remember, the box is the object which we have already created for the class rectangle and where we have set the values for all the required attributes here, and the new values to be added here. If you see, you can see the values that has been set earlier is 4 and 6, and the new values that we are passing here is 5 and 5. So 4 plus 5 is 9 and 6 plus 5 is 11. So the function is working here. So similarly, if you practice these examples, you will be able to create the classes and the objects, and then you will be able to define the methods where you can access the attributes and where you can change the values here. So let's continue with the next concept, that is copying. So in this Python, you have a module known as a copy, where it is going to allow you to copy the values of the one attribute to the another attribute, or from one object to the another object. The copy module contains a function called a copy that can duplicate the any object. So if you observe this function, you will come to know how to use the copy module and how to use the copy function here. So in the first case, what we have done here, we have created an object for the class point, and we have set the two attribute values here as 3 and 4. So in order to use the copy method, you need to import the copy module here. So you can see the new object has been taken here. P2 is equal to copy dot copy of P1. So that means this P2 will contain all the values that you have set for the P1 object, like P2 dot X will be 3 and P2 dot Y will be 4. So whereas it will contain the values that has been taken for the P1, the P2 will also contain the same values here, but the P1 and P2 are not the same. So you can see here P1 and P2 contain the same data, but they are not the same point. So if you want to check what the meaning of this statement is, so print the point P1, you will get the same values, and similarly print the point. So these two are the functions which we have defined while printing the values of the point. The same function has been used here once again. So if you print the P1, you are going to get the same values, and even if you print the P2, you are going to get the same values here. That means the values has been perfectly copied from the one object to the another object. But if you check whether the P1 object and P2 object are exactly same, that is P1 is P2, that means these two are equal or not. So for that you will get the result as a false. So that means I'll tell you why you will get the result as a false here. So for timing, you just understand here, if you use the copy as a object, copy as a method here, so the values of the P1 may be copied to the attributes of the P2, but the object that are going to be different with the P1 and the P2 here. So that's why you are going to get the result here as a false for it. So the method that we have discussed here, this is said to be as a shallow copy. So if you say copying with respect to the objects in the Python, you have the two types, that is the shallow copy and the deep copy. So let's see what is the difference between the shallow copy and the deep copy here. So if you use the copy method from the copy module to duplicate the objects of the classes, then that method is said to be as the shallow copy here. So you can see the box2 is a new object. If you remember, we have taken the box as an object to be created for the rectangle class, and where we have set some attributes here. So in this function, we are trying to take the new object and we want to copy all the values from the box which has been created earlier. So of course, all the attributes, all the values that has been set for all the attributes of the box object will be copied exactly same for the box 2. But if you want to check whether these two objects as a object they are same, so you can run this function box is box2 is box, which will give the result as a false. But in turn, if you want to check the attribute associated with these two objects, like box2 dot corner is the same with the box dot corner, then it will give you the true result. So that means whenever you want to copy the contents of the attributes, if you use the copy method, for which you may get the result as a true for the values or the attributes associated with the two objects. But if you want to check whether the two objects are same here, for which you will get always the result as a false. So this kind of the copy is said to be as the shallow copy. This operation is called a shallow copy because it copies the object and any references it contains, but not the embedded objects. So what does it mean? So if you observe this figure here, you will get to know. So this is the box, the object that has been already created, and where certain attributes has been set with the values here. So once you create the box2 object and where you use the copy method here, so this is how it is going to be created. A new object will be created where it is going to refer to the only the copied earlier object. Instead it is not going to copy, or it is not going to share the same memory location. It is going to just refer to the originally created values here. That's the reason why the box and the box2 are always not the same objects if you use the copy module here. This is another example, the simplest example, where it will tell you what is meant by the shallow copy here. So for the bag1, the bag1 is a object of one class where it has the 4 attributes and which has been set to the these 4 different values here. So don't worry about what values are here, it is just an example. So similarly, bag2 is a new object that has been copied with the bag1. So you can see from this figure here, the bag2, whatever the attributes that is being created here, it is just going to refer to the values that has been set to the bag1. It is not going to exactly copy or store it into the bag2 to say that bag1 and bag2 are the same objects. Instead it is completely the new object which is going to just refer to the location where the values of the bag1 object has been stored. So that's why these two objects are not going to be the same at all the time. So this kind of copy is said to be as a shallow copy. So with contrast to this shallow copy, we have the one more method of a copy known as a deep copy. So in this, the copy is not only the object but also the object it refers to and the objects they refer to, and so on. So how to use this deep copy is same way. You need to import the module known as the copy, and then so in this case, how to use is with the copy module, the name of the method for using the deep copy is deep copy of the box. So again, if you go with this copy method also, it is also going to copy all the inner levels of the attributes and the values, but the two objects are again always going to be the different one here. So you can see box3 and box are completely the separate objects. So the example for this is how it is different with the shallow copy is for the same example, bag1, where it has set with the 4 attributes with the 4 values here. So if you apply the deep copy of the bag2 with respect to the bag1, it is not going to refer to the same location where the bag1 has created. Instead this is a separate object which will copy all the contents to its different location here. So in this case also, the bag1 bag2 are going to be the two different objects. So with this, the first chapter of the fourth module is completed. In the next video, I'll discuss regarding the a solution for the first exercise from this chapter. Thank you.